Welcome, and thanks for joining me on the Ultimate 180 podcast. If you have ever felt exhausted, overwhelmed, or trapped in your own life and wish you could have a complete life makeover, then you're in the right place to learn how to pull an Ultimate 180 and change your life beyond all expectations. I'm your host, Christina Walker, and today's episode is all about health and the secret behind gaining control and maintaining the best and healthiest you. I have a very special guest with me today who is a dynamic health and business coach. She has helped over 50,000 people to get healthy in their own way. She has dedicated her life to empowering everyday people with above average dreams to step into their full potential and embrace their best selves. This kind and courageous woman has been coaching for over 10 years. She's trained thousands nationwide and serves on the board of ithinkbig.org, which is an organization dedicated to awakening the potential in others. She's been married for over 25 years with 3 amazing boys and is dedicated to her purpose-driven work where she inspires others to embrace their journey and create a lasting impact. So stay tuned for this game-changing episode to meet the passionate, the energetic, and motivational Summer Morenz. She'll be sharing her best tips with us, as well as how she overcame her own struggles as she navigated her own 180 transformational health journey. So let's get started as we navigate change together, 1 degree at a time. Let's do this. Welcome, Summer.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me on, Christina.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you today.
It will be so fun. I'm thrilled to be here.
I have to say that you are just one of the most kind and inspirational human beings. And what I love the most is that you are so authentic because you have been through real struggles. I mean, a lot of real struggles in life. And yet you are such a positive influence to people and how they can navigate through change in their life. And it's more than just when people think health, right? It's more than just weight loss. It's more than what the scale says. What you really do is you empower them as a human being, and that just shines through. And I just love that about you.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, I feel like because of all the things I've navigated, losing 85 pounds was just a small part of the big story. I mean, there's
It
so
doesn't even seem like a small part, but
I know. I know. It's actually a little bit mind-boggling when I say that because I think about what all it took to really not just lose the weight, but keep it off and change my mindset in the process. But it really is just a little glimpse of there was an internal battle that was way bigger than the external
would
result.
you, yeah, and if you would, just so everybody understands, would you give me kind of like your elevator, story of your weight loss journey, of that whole 180 process, because I'm sure it wasn't an overnight process, right? And then you've done it, but then moving forward from that is a whole nother journey.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I really feel like my mindset towards weight started when I was in high school with some bullies calling me names. And I really was anorexic at the time. I dealt a lot with that. And I didn't know that when I ended up years later getting pregnant, it would actually kind of come back up. And then it was in weight gain, right?
Wow.
One of my best friends, she was on Biggest Loser season 6.
Really?
Yeah, she ended up winning the whole season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
watch that. I bet I've seen her.
You probably have. She was a Michelle Aguilar, super great friend of mine, and her and I actually got heavy together. And when I watched her in that season win it all, I was like, okay, what is she doing? I want to do it. Well, I went on this journey, and it was actually kind of a demoralizing journey. If you have ever yo-yo dieted, you can relate to me. I would try every cleanse, pill, fast, whatever it was to try to lose weight. And when life would change and I couldn't continue, the weight would pile back on. And so I found this program about 10 years ago where it was more about a healthy mindset, healthy habits. Really 80% of what you're eating, is like the whole deal, and 20% about what you're doing. And so learning those things helped me just not just lose the weight, but now I've kept it off for 10 years. And now I'm all about body fat percentage. So I went from a smaller, like 135 at 27% body fat to now I'm at 140 at, I'm ranging 17 to 18% body fat right now.
Wow. And believe me, ladies, I have seen you in the gym. Whew. Yes, I would be very proud of that body. And
Well,
it is
back at you,
interesting.
Christina. You have
Oh,
an
thank
incredible
you.
body.
Oh, thank you. And it is true though, the scale for so many years we just look at the scale and it doesn't tell the whole story. And I think that mindset it really gets in our head, right? And especially if you're lifting weights and trying to even get that body fat down, is it's kind of the opposite maybe of what we always learned is healthy for us.
And
And
it's so
and your
important.
weight is not healthy for somebody else's weight, right? That it's such like a individual journey.
Yeah. And it's so important to really be surrounded by people that are in pursuit of health, especially as we age. I
Mm,
think right now, you know, we've been in you've probably have seen this, but my husband has been battling cancer for the last year and a half. And
yes.
our journey with his health, even though he's always been a thin person, the underlying health, the muscle is the biggest organ in your body, right? And then having that to protect you during other times when you're being really targeted in other ways, it's so important. And I think that that's why we're just so passionate about what we do and helping others win. It's because,
That is so interesting. I've never thought about that, right? You have to build the system to protect you during those times when you do have to go through a fight, a struggle. And yeah, his struggle is that's a we should have another podcast with him on it, really, with the two of you, because there's so many people out there going through that same battle. And it's not you're not online just being happy every moment and saying life is great and whatever. You're maintaining your positivity, but also being very real about here's my struggle, here's how I got through it, and this is how every day I have to show up to try and be as positive as possible. And here's why, right?
yeah.
And I
I,
think that oh sorry, I just thought of something because you are so positive that people might think, "Oh, well, I can't get it through it like Summer because she's so positive." But I think that's the key, right? Is that the lessons that you teach about how to reframe and refocus your mind all the way along.
Yeah, I used to struggle really bad with depression, Christina.
Did
Like,
you?
yeah,
Oh, I
um,
didn't even know that.
I
I'm so
know.
sorry.
It's interesting because it started around the age of 12, like just about like a week out of every month, kind of
Okay.
being in a funk. And of course, I'm sure it was hormonal, we're moving into different changes, but then it became this like dark cloud that I would never let anybody know I was dealing with.
Mm.
It was a secret thing that only people, the very closest people in my world, even knew was happening, right? Because we're really good about showing our highlight reel on social media, but
Yeah, right. And in life.
right? And then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not like the legit stuff. And
Hmm.
about 8 years ago, I actually revealed to my coaches that I dealt with depression. And I was like, I just feel like no matter how hard I try, I couldn't get out of that cloud, that dark cloud. And it lasted for about a month at one point.
Oh,
Yeah, it was deep and dark. And they started to challenge me. They were like, Summer, what are you grateful for? And so I kind of wanted to smack them, to be honest. Like, you're going to ask me that right now when I'm like in this
right.
depression? That's not
Right.
cool.
Right.
And so my coach, he's so great. He knows how stubborn I am. So he did challenge me really hard. He goes, I want you to wake up and write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. And he goes, start tomorrow. And of course, I was mad and I'm like, fine, I'll do it. And it was more just to show him, prove him wrong, to be honest. Like that's
Right? If I have to, I'm grateful for this dumb exercise, right?
yes, exactly. And so I started like with breath in my lungs, and I have a house over my head. But I started that practice. And do you know, I can literally tell you, I have not been depressed since, ever.
That is incredible.
Isn't it?
And I have to tell you that I did go through clinical depression at one point myself. And I understand exactly what you're talking about. And I know the frustration when somebody tells you to sit in and say, "What are you grateful for?" And you literally are like, you just want to like stomp your foot and kick dirt and be like, "This is stupid." But I love the fact that you continue, like, it's like a documentation of the reality of how much it actually helps because it does. It changes your life as little and sometimes as silly as you feel. It is so unbelievably true. It's really the only way out when you're in a bad space.
Yeah, it really is. And that's where that mental health comes in, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're not fueling your body right, if you're not actually giving your body what it needs, then your mind, your emotions, all of that stuff, it all takes a toll. How many people the day after Thanksgiving woke up feeling like in a funk, in a cloudy funk, and then it took a couple days just to feel normal again. And it's because of what they ate the whole day prior.
Yeah,
Both of them just go hand in hand and are reason why yes, I'm positive, but yet I'm also realistic and life
right.
isn't picture perfect. And the more we are authentic in the difficult seasons, the more we can actually help others navigate the ones that they're in and see that there is hope on the other side.
And I think you said something really important there about Thanksgiving because that translates into many things down the road when you go through difficult times. So sometimes when you anticipate a difficult situation, right? And you can set yourself up like, okay, today I might have a smaller sliver of pie, or I might have like these things are going to happen, and I'm going to give myself permission not to go crazy or not to, but I know this is coming, or I know I'm going to have a contentious conversation with family during Thanksgiving or whatever it is, right? Mentally setting yourself up and giving yourself permission that it might be a rough patch so that you don't end up down like going down the ditch, right? You can recover quicker on the other side like, oh shoot, I did go a little overboard with the food, and now but it's okay because I'm not going to just keep going down that road, right? Don't you think it helps to kind of help you recover quicker?
Oh, yeah. I have this theory, quick down, quick up. My mom has said that to me since I was a little girl, like quick down, quick up, Summer. And I really brought that into my mindset with health and coaching and just all the things. If you go in with a plan and a little bit of accountability, I feel like accountability is something that we have to put ourselves in because it doesn't just happen to you, right? But if you have
Right,
a little bit of accountability, you go in with a plan, and then if you make decisions that aren't exactly perfect, well, one, welcome to being a human, right?
right.
That's just part of
Absolutely.
life. No one's perfect. At least I haven't met one on this planet yet. And
No,
what is great is we can always learn from those experiences and just not make them the next time. And something that I found is that I just go into these events and I expect not bad things to happen, but I go in with an expectation of preparedness. Like I'm going to prepare for what could possibly take place, family drama, my emotions to be all over the place, whatever it is. And then once I experience something like that, instead of being blindsided, I have a plan on how to approach it. And that just has helped me through all of the things, including the journey that we've been on with my husband's health. It's just okay, you know what? The results aren't always what we want or hope, but when they come, it doesn't have to look like me melting down. There's
right.
there's ways to move through in a healthy manner.
I love that. I really love that. Um, Something that again that you spark so many things in my head because I'm like, oh, I just did a podcast about that quick up, kind of quick down conversation about, let yourself wallow for a minute, right? But then like set a time limit. and then you got to go, you got to move on, right? And so it's quick down, quick up, kind of quick up, quick down. But there was something else that it made me think of. So you had a post recently, and this was due to an injury that you recently had. And what I thought was fascinating was you shared about times in the past where you might not have trusted yourself in these situations because it would give you a lot of angst and stress of like, oh, now I won't be able to be going to the gym the same. I won't. And I know that feeling of like all of those feelings come flooding in like, oh my gosh, like now how am I going to maintain my health that I've worked so hard for when this thing is blocking me, right? And it's the same thing even with you and Mike going through this with Mike's cancer journey, right? Like, oh my gosh, all these plans we made. And now how am I going to move forward? And how do I trust myself that I'm not going to lose all the progress either in the gym or in health or in life? How did you get to that mental space where you trusted yourself this time? Like, what was different this time?
Wow. You know, the last 10 years, because it has been such a focus on moving forward, one of the questions I ask myself is, well, what can I do? Like when things are at the most difficult moments. So, what Christina's referring to is me breaking my ankle on Pinnacle Peak Mountain. And I didn't even fall, Christina. That's what's so funny about it is I just placed my foot down wrong
Oh
and I
gosh.
heard a pop, and the girl with me heard the pop too.
Oh my gosh.
And my body just started shaking. I was like, what just happened? I think I might have broken my ankle. So I
Oh my
just sat
gosh.
down. And of course, all the people came, like all the para people, all the helpers
Did they
came.
have to get a helicopter at Pinnacle Peak's too high up there?
They wanted to, I refused to.
Of course you did.
Of course, I actually ended up finishing the hike, which I had to go up a mountain and down a mountain. A guy gave me his walking sticks, so I
Oh,
finished the
wow.
hike. And then I ended up speaking at a conference that very weekend, borrowed my friend's boot, wore it for 8 days until I went to the doctor, and it took me that long. I wasn't going to go to the doctor. I thought I probably just sprained it. Um,
Okay.
Being a mom of three boys, you're just kind of like, nah,
You're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'll be
right.
okay. Ended up going in, and they're like, you broke it in three places.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it did. It made me nervous because they were telling me how long the recovery was going to be, and that 6 to 8 weeks of me not being able to put any pressure on it. Um,
Wow.
but what I love is that I got to go, okay, Summer, how can you rise to the challenge and also take what you've taught people and use it during this season? And that's what I think is great when you really learn that it's not just about what you're doing in the gym. Yeah, that's a good part, but there are some people that honestly should not be working out.
Mm-hmm.
So learning how to do what your body does well is when you learn how to fuel your body right, it will actually lose weight on its own. It will take that stored fat and convert it to energy. All of a sudden, you get in fat burn, you feel amazing. You can do all of that without being in the gym. And so I just leaned into that process. I was like, okay, I know I have these tools. Let's lean into it and let's show that I can do this. And so I actually ended up losing because the very first week your body gets inflamed, so you
Yeah. Lots of
I,
water weight.
yeah, a lot of water weight, especially during an injury. And I
Mm.
ended up losing 6 pounds right after I made that decision of let's lean into this, into fat burn. Let's get
Ah,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
The mental, I mean, really give yourself credit for that mental switch because it's amazing how a mental switch can literally drop 6 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing to me. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I think that that's so important to play. We defeat ourselves so much. 95% of our battle is in our head,
Mm-hmm.
and
Agree.
when you're constantly in that place of putting yourself down, thinking that you're going to fail, you're just setting yourself up for failure. But when you actually start to surround yourself with people that believe in you and for you, sometimes you have to borrow their belief so that you can then start to see the steps unfold before you. I think that's why we all need a little bit of a coach in our corner, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. This kind of leads me into because you really do help people. People think of health and they think of just their body, but what they don't realize, like you said, there's a mental, spiritual, there's all of that included in being healthy, right? And healthy is different for everybody. So as you've gone through this journey and you obviously work for a great organization on the board, what is your why, and how did you come to this why that has really sparked you beyond the body, right? Beyond just, hey, I'm going to help you lose 10 pounds. What is your why that keeps you going every day?
Oh, man, that's such a good question. My why is to help one mom, dad, person see their value. You'll see behind me, my sign says "Be the Shine." I feel like for a long time I was looking for other people to shine around me.
Mm,
And I was so busy focused on, well, who is going to help me through instead of realizing that in order to move through, I need to shine myself and I need to be the shine that I want to see in the world. We're so powerful. We really are. Like as human beings, we could say one comment that changes the trajectory of someone's life.
oh,
But
I just got the chills. You're right.
it's true, right?
It is so true.
We don't know the power of our own words. I think about like these people that are like, oh, there's this one teacher that said this one thing. I didn't have that teacher.
Hmm.
Looking back, I can't go. There was one teacher that changed my life. And that's where I kept going, well, where's that person who's going to help me shine? Well, I'm the person that's going to shine. And once I've embraced that and realized that that was my gift to the world, and not just my gift to the world, but everyone's gift to the world, and if I help them find that inside them,
Oh my God.
it could completely look different than me, right? Their
Right.
son could be a more introverted depth. I don't know. But it's still important. It's still valuable. It's still significant because we're powerful human beings that can alter the life around us by
Yes.
one sentence, one word, one shine.
Isn't that amazing? I just love that. I love that is an amazing why. I literally had like chills head to toe. Like that's it. Like that is it. I believe that so much. I'm very similar in the fact that I can't look back and say I had this one person. And recently I had to write like a letter to myself from a coach. They said, write a letter to yourself 6 months from now and, congratulate yourself on very specific things. And one of the things I said to myself is, you always knew that you were the star. And I'm so glad you finally are shining bright because we are all stars, right? And it doesn't mean like a star on TV. That's not what I was referring to, even though I have a podcast. But like, I really like, I always knew that this shining part of me existed, and I'm so proud of myself that I finally trusted my own light, right? I don't have to be like any other light. I don't have to be summer. I don't have to be right to be my shining light of the world. And I love that you help people find their light. That is huge. That's just beyond. I love that.
Thank
That
you.
is just so how do people find you? Because I know, and I know that there's some exciting things that you probably have that you could share too that are going on, like particularly right now. But I want people to make sure that if they, oh, please, people, give yourself the opportunity to meet Summer and let her help you because it is so, you are so powerful, and the words that you say are so powerful, and you really truly make this happen for people. And so I would love for you to share the best ways to get a hold of you, and then also whatever else you'd like to say to help people.
Thank you. So the best ways to get a hold of me would be on Instagram or Facebook. You can search just at Summer Morenz, and Summer is with one M, thanks to my hippie mom that took that
And I'll
into.
have the details in the comments. So,
Yes. So both on Facebook and on Instagram, and those are the best ways to get a hold of me. There are a lot of fun things coming up. I'm actually in the process of writing a book. I am
hey.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm actually centering this book in regards to caregiving and some of the things I've experienced this last year. I just decided to really lean into the pain point that I've been walking through with my husband.
Mm. I bet a
And
lot of people, I mean, I know of many people just in my own family that could use that. That's amazing.
so I'll give you the title. I haven't told
Ooh,
hardly anybody the title of the book.
okay,
It's
listen,
called
everyone.
Caregiver's Guide to Sanity.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I understand that. And that is exactly what people need. That's
yeah,
amazing. Because it
yeah.
is a 24/7 job.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that we're all caregivers at one point in our life, whether it's a parent that you're taking care of that's going through health issues or a child or whatever it is. Because I could go on not a caregiver. Like they would talk about that. I'm like thinking, well, my husband's the one dealing with the cancer, not really me. But then emotionally, I wasn't taking care of myself. And
Yeah.
it was like 4 or 5 months in when I was having just all of these emotions tearing, like I felt like, oh, I could hardly breathe.
Mm,
And I was like, oh my goodness, I am in the thick of this and I don't know how to get out. And so I started taking those moments where I was like, ah, I wish I would have known this prior or
yeah.
during or whatever. And just started writing down, like, what would I have done different? How could I have felt like different in this process? And I think a lot of times when you're so focused on your loved one, you really set yourself on that back burner, and then it becomes almost impossible to take care of both of you.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's going to be wonderful. Do you have a date yet in mind?
oh, not yet because I'm still trying to find the perfect publishing house. So I'm like
Yes.
trying
That's a
to,
journey.
oh, girl, you know the tips on that. Please reach out. But yeah, I'm still in the process of that. But and rounding out, like I'm actually having a lot of people contribute to the book. Um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, where they're pouring in letters of what they wish they would have known before their kids.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is going to be so helpful. I'm so excited for
Thank
you.
you.
I'm so excited for you. That's
So,
awesome. Well, when it comes out, please come back on and share it
yeah.
because that will be, I mean, that is going to be so helpful. My father-in-law is dealing with that right now, and it's yeah, and the first time he's had to be a caregiver. So it's watching them and watching the process is difficult to even watch, right? So, and when you're living through it, it's a whole different game. So that's going to be vital. I'm very excited for you. Thank you. Oh
Thank
gosh.
you.
Well, and then also, are there any seasonal any things that you'd like to announce before we close out today?
Yeah, there's definitely some discounts going on right now. If people are interested in wanting to lose some weight, maybe even before January 1. I think when people start a program, a health journey before everyone else does, it gets you in that place where you're just at this is a lifestyle change. This is not a diet. And I don't coach diets. I
Yeah,
actually think diets fail. And if you're not making lifestyle changes, then I don't want you to I don't want to set you up for failure. I want to
right.
help you win. And so waiting till January 1 to start something is not necessarily the plan. The plan is how do we navigate what's coming up so that you can be healthy even before the new year. So we have
Love
some
that.
discounts going on right now. Would love to help some new people get started on their
That
journey.
is amazing. That is just amazing. Well, I thank you so much. Thank you for all your wisdom and all your tips. And I just love what you're doing and I support you. And just thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Christina. You are such a light. And I just want to take a moment to tell your listeners what an incredible gift you are, not just even on this podcast, but as a friend at the gym who connected with me in a deeper way, one on one, than anyone else in the entire workout crew. You just
Wow.
shine so bright, and I'm just honored to be your friend.
Thank you. That was so kind. I love you. You're amazing. And on that note, I want to thank everybody here for joining me today. If you'd like any more information on how you can start your own transformational journey, your own 180, you can always go to my website, ultimate180.com, and join my VIP group. You can catch all my episodes there, always on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your shows.